Hello everybody, it's Will B from Will B Gaming. Here's my second Blender video I'm sharing with you guys. Hope you enjoy. On my first video, I kind of gave the basics of how to use Blenders just to navigate a little bit around the program. So let's kind of go over some of the menus and stuff on today. So again, this is my splash screen. This is what you get in the regular default. It'll just come in and show you your recents and your downloads and that kind of thing. This right here is not something that you're going to get. These planes here, these are just a simple lighting for set lighting that I had set already up for my deal here. So again, by default, Blender sets your right mouse button as your select button, and how you change that is go to File, User Preferences, go to Input, and select with left mouse button, and then click or push Save User Settings. So every time that you come into Blender, Blender will always have that setting available for you. You don't have to change it every time. First off, let's go to the side here. Let's look at all this. So you have your Tools tab here. Has your transformation, your edit, and your history. It's also another way to deal with your mistakes. Instead of see, like I told you, there's always a face. So Shift A is the same thing as right here. You can find that right here on this tab. The next tab would be for groups, how to name groups and remove groups, how to parent things, object data, so on and so forth. Your animation is after you've built something or you want to, use your timeline down here to make an animation, you can do that. Your physics tab, it's go on and so forth. It's all the different rich body tools that you can use for that. This is an add-on that you can find in your user preferences. You can go through here, and if you'll notice that there's a ton of add-ons. So yeah, we'll get into that maybe some other time. But yes, this isn't normally something that you'll have on on your face here, your menu. So if we push T or T, that'll open and close it. If we push in, we have another one over here. So you have your grease pencil, you have your view for your camera, you have your 3D cursor, and you can set your 3D cursor back to its setting of right in the middle of the Z, the X, and the Y axis. It's right in the middle of it. Your display, your shading, your motion tracking, your background images, and your transform orientations settings are all right here. So if you push in, toggle in, it'll toggle that menu in and out. So this right here, let's talk about this. So when you start adding meshes into the world, you'll see that by doing that, we have plane 5. Okay, these are all these other ones. By clicking on it, you see that it's highlighted it right here. The camera is here. And yeah, so that's what that is. So I'm going to delete that plane there for you guys. Um, let's go over here. Let's start with this. This is your, excuse me, this is your rendered tab. You can look at it and you can see how you can set up your render stills, your animations, and your audios, and there's all kinds of presets that you can put right there. Your dimensions, you can set all those for this area. Your metadata, all this right here. Your output is where you're going to set your stills and your animations. So you can set it in image or a movie file form, and you can pick a place. Yeah, nice. Pick a place where you want it to set out. So yeah, that's where that is. Okay, here. Your samplings, your freestyle, you can render view and your preview. Again, I think that you should probably just, if your computer's not great, it's just a regular stock computer, just leave your sampling previews down to 10, and you always want to set your render samples a little higher if your computer can handle that. But you need to understand that if you set this higher, it takes longer to complete the render. So, um, there's all kinds of different menus and choices that you can make through here, and you'll see through here that you have different things through here, like you have the world scene, so you can change the background color of the world if you see fit, if that's something you're going to do in your scene. Ray visibility settings for that, so on and so forth. Let's. I'm just going to click on here. I'm just going to click on this lighting plane that I have. Right here, you have modifiers that you can put in. Array modifier, the Boolean and the build, so on and so forth. You have a bunch. You have a wireframe. There's quite a bit of stuff that you can do with these modifiers. Will help you through your work that you're doing. So materials, so on and so forth here. So we grab here. I have this set as an emissions material at a white setting, and the strength's at 20. Okay, I mean I wasn't trying to get real crazy with my lights. I just wanted a basic setup here. So yeah, your displacement settings and your settings for your lights and stuff, or excuse me, the material that you've named for this object. That's the way you need to look at it. We know here that we got textured category. See here, textured, and your particle, and then your physics. So if your physics, you can do all kinds of things. Now, if you look at CG Geek, he's got quite a bit of videos on the rigid body simulator and the collision simulator. He's done quite a bit of that. He did a scene where he had a big giant ball run through a building, and he used the rigid body simulator to do that. So yeah, you'll see that all these, and you can also change this whole thing to be this. So I can make this the 3D screen if I chose to, if that's what I wanted. But we can Command Z that. Oops. Okay, maybe I don't know how to do that. We can make it the whole screen. I mean, there's pretty much endless on what you can do. Let's see here. Let's go back to timeline dope sheet, and let's talk about this right here, because let's actually go over here. These will take you into the different editor types. Program. You have your timeline, your dope sheet, your NLA editor, your UV editor, excuse me, so on and so forth. It's your logic editor, which is your game editor, your note editor, and it goes on so on and so forth. So yeah, you can come through here, and you can pick your views for your camera right through here. So you're selecting, you're adding again. You can add from right here. You don't have to go into that setting or that menu that was over here. Your objects, and yeah, so you can come through here. Let's talk about some of this. This is your object area. So if we push Shift A and put a plane here, you can change this to texture paint, weight, edit mode. So I can now change the geometry of this, and yeah, through edit mode. And tab that out. You can tab it out to fix that. If you don't want to tab it, you can just go ahead and just go, okay, object mode. That's the way you do that. So render, this is your viewport shading menu. You can wireframe, bounding box, which there's no bounding box. Solid, which is your default view. Your texturing, if you had a texture on there. Your material, and then your rendering, which you can also render by pushing Shift Z. Shift Z will you can just go ahead and look at your renders by through that way. I'm not quite sure what all these are. I know some of these are your 3D, your axis grabbers, I guess I should say like that maybe. This is your transformation tool. Some people prefer to be in this right here. Yeah, so yeah, you can do it like that. And these are your layers that you can change. So like if you see that I pushed it right there, there's nothing in this layer. So if I went back here and grabbed this and pushed M on my keyboard, I can send this to layer 2. And now that I do have these planes here for lights, I can go to layer 2 and there it is. And I can push it back and just go back to 1 if I wanted to. Like say for instance, and how you would use that application is you can look at something, you can be like, okay, you have a bunch of different meshes in one area and it's getting tight with your camera view, and there's something specific that you want to do with that object. You can actually move that piece of mesh to another layer, model it, and then take it back, and it'd be right back where it was when you moved it. So yeah, that's a helpful little tool. Your proportional editing, yes, this is pretty good. Proportional editing is pretty important, and it's something we'll get into pretty much later. So, yeah, and we can come through here, and we'll see that this is your timeline area, and we'll get into that later too as well. So, yeah, we're going to see if I can't get this back into the default. No. Timeline, no. It says the 3D views right here. File browser. There it is. Nope. That's not it either. Let's see here. Properties. That's what it was. Apologize. So yeah, so we can go back into your properties. We'll bring back all your stuff here. So yeah, that should be pretty helpful. Now keep in mind, everything that I've shown you are things that you're going to learn throughout your time with this software. So don't let all of the menus and all of the buttons and stuff up here get to you. By the way, if you want to save your project, you can save them as save as, and you can set it in a file in a folder in anywhere that you want. Save is just for like a quick save. How do you open, so on and so forth. Open recently. You can import stuff, export stuff, rendered. You can render image. See, you can see this as render image. You can say it's the same thing as this right here. You can duplicate the window, so on and so forth. You can come through here and you can come into your UV editing, video editing, 3D view, animation, so on and so forth. This will show you how many scenes that you have. And these are your different rendered engines. So this is your very first Blender render engine, is the very first engine that they came out with. And then you have Blender Game, and then Cycles Rendered. Cycles Rendered, and from what I understand, is the stuff, and it's where everybody's at, and so that's just where I have my set on. Yeah, so that's that, and the more time that you'll spend with this program, the better that you'll become acquainted to it. There's things that you would like to learn and to do, you'll learn. So let's just make a little quick deal here. So we'll push Shift A, and we're going to go into text. Okay, and we're going to push R on the and then X on your keyboard and push 90 degrees or 90, then push Enter, which will take the mesh that was laying flat and then rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees. That's what that is. Okay, so we're going to push F, and we're going to come through here, and we're going to scroll down, and we're going to extrude this out. Okay, because we're already trying to change the mesh here. So if we come in through here and go into fonts and go into my font folder, let's see here, the one I usually use. Okay, and you're like, okay, but how do you change the wording? So if you push tab, you go into editing mode, and I'm going to type in will be gaming. Oops, there we go. So then we can take and we can tab out of this, and we can go into the paragraph, and we can change the up and down, change that back to 0, and if we can change it on the X, we'll bring it over, which normally I do, because if we push 1 on your keyboard, you'll see that it should be, this is the grid line. It's parallel, so it's in the middle. Think of it that way. So on and so forth, and you have different presets that you can choose down here. So we can change the lettering where it's spread out, and we can just kind of do all kinds of things with that. Push 1 on the keyboard, we'll get it back to what it is. If we want to, if it seems a little jammed up to you or too far away, you can always change the word settings and the lines and so on and so forth. Yeah, see, push 1 on that. Okay, so we come in here, we see that we've got a pretty sharp line on this extruded mesh. Okay, and we're going to give it depth by taking away those sharp lines and give it a bevel depth. Okay, and we're going to probably just scroll or bump up real small amount since we didn't go real big. On the bevel, we'll go resolution 1. Okay. Okay, you're like, okay, well that's kind of cool. So what do we do? How do we? What is there? Well, let's see here. I kind of missed my thing up here. There it is. Shift A, and I'm going to add a plane on the floor. We're going to scroll that up. Be pretty big. Okay. Let's give this. Let's pull this up on the X here. Right. So now we can see that we've got a floor and a text here. So we're going to give this a material, and I'm going to give it a mix shader. Okay. And the first one I'm going to use diffuse, and then the second one I'm going to use glossy. Okay. And if we push Shift Z, we're going to see nothing great. You're gonna look at me like, oh, there's nothing to it. So we can make it like a silver, and then the gloss we can we can kind of just turn down and make it more silvery and looking more wet. Look, see that there's light coming through here, and the light is shining on there. If we click on the floor here, we can come in here and I can give it a let's give it a checker texture. Come through here, and then you can just, set the color that you want. Let's see, green. No, let's do this. And we can go the black. Let's see here, the gray. We can just make it black. Just make it black all the way. So we're using a diffuse, mind you, a diffuse. So it's going to look like a flat, dull looking deal. Now, if I was to thought about this, I would have went, just use a mix shader on this as well, and then come in here and use this as a diffuse and this one as a glossy, right? And then I can change this to a checker texture. So you're like, okay, so what's that do? So you can actually make the roughness pretty low. Let's see here. Let's change this back to where we had it, right? This needs to be black. Okay, this is the FAC value. You can turn it down. And we can change the scaling of it as well, and we can make it look, the checker pattern look a little smaller there by bringing the value up there. This is should be glossy instead of glass. I apologize for that, guys. You see how now it looks really, 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 really bright. I mean, there's a lot of light reflection jumping off the flooring. It's because it's the gloss setting, and we can change that by using the roughness. We can bring the roughness value up. If you want to, you can see that there's a preview there. If you are having a hard time visualizing because it takes your computer a while to render, you can do it that way. We're just going to bring that up probably to let's go right there. And we'll just wait till my computer quits being a derp and helps me out here and gets this done. So yeah. Right. We're coming through here and we're seeing this and we're like, oh, I don't know if I like that. So let's go with a little bit of a green tint along with that. So it has a dual color look to it. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, for my default, I have my stuff set really, really high. So I'm going to delete a couple of these lamps and see what that effect does for it. So yeah, it's a little darker, and I can see that I can probably go a little less. Let's go 10. Let's go 10. And then see what that does. Yeah, so you look and you look at the text now, and by lowering the light, it takes that value and makes it a little, that color value, and makes it a little better. So now if you see this, you're like, but look at the background. It's like, yo, it's crazy. Why would you do that? So if you come through here, surface, we're going to use the surface setting, and we're going to turn it all the way down. Make it black. You could use this on anything you want. You could put color, your converters, and your textures if you want. Okay, don't really matter. I'm just trying to, I'm not really going for anything specific. I'm just kind of showing you a few things with this. So you see this, and you can make this. This is nothing. This is beginner stuff. This is the kind of thing that you, as the new Blender user, should just try to mess with. Mess with text. Mess with your meshes. Try to alter your meshes. Excuse me. And before you know it, you're going to start modeling things and start using texture and UV editor, the UV editor, and you're going to be able to start doing multiple things. Again, I'm not the best Blender user in the world, but I feel like I'm starting to become better, maybe a little bit. That's why I feel like I want to help the Blender community and trying to give the best I can information, the best I can. So that's why I'm doing these videos for you guys. But I think that'll be it for us today. I'm going to try to do more later. And yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like it, make sure you share it. Tell your friends about Blender. More people that we get for Blender, the better off we're going to be. I've really listened to a lot of discussions on how people think that Blender will give you work. I'm going to tell you, there's people that have used Blender to make money, and there's people that just use it for the fun of it, and there's no wrong answer either way. If you can make money from it, fine. But if you can't, then don't let that deter you from using this program, because this program is applicable in a lot of ways, and you can do a lot of things with it. It's all really what your skill level will allow you to do and what you want you to do and the time that you will put into doing it. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and I guess we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Y'all have a great day.